This is the TAF Hub, a show brought to you by TAF Africa Global to educate you on real estate matters, to mentor you and inspire you.
After 48 years of working and also traveling all over the world, I am ready to share my experience with you, especially those young ones who follow me for inspiration.
And now, I would like to introduce our panelists, and each a shining star in their respective fields. Mohammed Kinteh, the founder of Kinteh Water Sport. Babou Ceesay, a biomedical scientist. Babou Ceesay, an international actor. And Jainaba Njie, a venture specialist. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your team for the panel discussion on entrepreneurship.
Excited to be moderating such an exciting panel discussion today. We have amazing panelists, and each of them is a leader in their own right, an expert in their own right. So I want this to be very personable. I want it to be a conversation. I think each of them, their paths and their journeys are very different, and that's how I want it to go. But at the end of this discussion, I don't want us to just talk. At the end of this discussion, I want us to come up with recommendations that we're going to give to the policymakers to take away today.
Something one of the panelists said earlier, Omar, I believe, stuck with me because that's actually my ultimate mandate, is to add value. I want to give you $3 for every dollar, $3 worth of value for every dollar you pay me. Value, value, value. At the end of the day, I want to be a net creator, not a net consumer. If I can leave the earth having added more than I took, I'll be a very, very happy person.
Previously an electrical engineer, but now almost a venture capitalist. I guess what drove me to my journey is looking to make an impact within the continent by helping provide financial resources to entrepreneurs and change makers in order to drive economic development and create more jobs.
I'm a biomedical scientist. What drives AQA, affordable quality assurance, is ensuring that Gambia is self-sufficient when it comes to medical diagnostics, ensuring that nobody have to leave this country for diagnostic purposes. That is what drives us as a company.
So I was one of 25 Gambians who were selected to study civil engineering in Taiwan. So one of the main reasons why I started up Kinteh Water Sport was mainly to create more fun activities for Gambians in particular and tourists to take it to the next level. So I felt like there was a need to have more fun activities for Gambians coming on holidays to do, and also tourists on holiday, because what you keep hearing is stories saying that we keep going to the same places, we keep doing the same things. Literally, you can walk down the beach and there's almost literally no fun activities for the locals on holiday and the tourists to do. So the main reason why Kinteh Water Sport was established is to take water sport and create more fun activities, employ more youth, and keep people safe whenever they go down to the beach, because like what you keep hearing during Sunday beaches is like people go out on picnics and then someone drowns. So what we do is we kind of train more people and also try to offer lifeguard rescue. So that's the main reason why Kinteh Water Sport was established, to make it safer for people on the beaches.
Currently in Africa, there's a youth bulge. In the next few decades, more than 50% of the world population will come from Africa. More than 50% of the whole world is going to be from Africa. So we have that demographic dividend. When we look at the entrepreneurial landscape, there's a lot of promise. However, there are lots of challenges that we deal with. And to overcome these challenges, there are key players that have a role to play. And these are things that we have to discuss. As startups, we need to have an environment that's conducive, where we can thrive, we can grow, we can scale. We live in a generation where I think because of technology, we know that we are not confined by geography. But also now with just an idea, you can raise investment. Jainaba, I want to come to you. I don't think a lot of people know what a venture capitalist is. All right? Can you tell Gambia, what is a venture capital?
A venture capitalist is a person who uses private equity, private capital in return, in exchange for equity of a company, and hoping to get return like later on. So it's not necessarily their money, but maybe getting money from like high net worth individuals, governments, DFI, and investing in startups and hoping for return. And what's depending on the type of venture capital, some are also looking for impact. So they have certain theses around like the type of investments they make, like maybe towards healthcare, clean energy. And so they have a purpose, and at the same time they're trying to get returns.
Perfect. Because a lot of startups in Gambia, either you take loans or you bootstrap your way. That's what we're used to. And we met a couple of weeks ago. You have a wealth of knowledge. And I think we have a lot to learn from you. Am I right to say that you're the first VC, Gambian VC?
Well, I guess based on my knowledge, I would say the first female. I have met one person that's a guy, but yeah, based on my knowledge, I need to Google though to just make sure.
Perfect. Do you think Gambia is ready for the VC world? What do you think sets us apart from other places in Africa?
Yeah, that's a good question. But before answering that, I think it's important to look at the key drivers of what attracts VC to a country. The first one being like good economic activity, so like having like good GDP, a strong currency, good infrastructure, like a lot of natural resources that are used like adequately. But I think out of all those, like VCs look for like strong currency, like in terms of like whether is the currency depreciating or if it's not, because if it's depreciating, like for example in the Gambia to the dollar, the Gambian dalasi to the dollar, that means that startup, if I'm an international investor and I invest in a startup in Gambia, that means that the startups in Gambia have to like be able to create 10 X amount like times the return because of that currency difference. So I think it's important to like see how like in Gambia they can help with reducing, like helping with depreciation, like, and this can be done like with looking into the export industry, like because the more you export, the more like foreign currency you get, and that helps like balance it out. So I think it's important to look into our resources, like how we can better export our natural resources and even our services to help strengthen our economy and attract like investors. The second one I would say is more of like having a good capital market. So the central bank has recently opened the capital market, which is good, but I feel like people's mindset need to be more on like rather than protecting their money but investing in it. So the high net worth individuals like Mr. TAF and etc. need to like invest in these capital markets because it helps create track record. So like if we invest in these startups or SMEs in these capital markets and they show returns, it kind of will attract like external like investors. Because they've seen that, okay, these people, this country is doing good, startups are giving, and SMEs are bringing return in. And I think the third would be more on like good education and human capital. So, you know, making sure that the youth are trained, you know, in technology and, you know, in maybe the resource, like in agri-tech or agriculture, like the resource that we have, like tourism, and give them the mindset to be able to solve problems here and also globally.
Thank you for that. It's good that you've laid it out so well. You've laid it out so well. I think we should not be a charity case anymore, and investors should be able to reap rewards from the Gambia, but we should also be talking about social entrepreneurship as well. It's quite important. So I want to move to Mamadou. Mamadou is a former colleague. We used to work together. It's always exciting to see you. You do what you do with so much grace, always smiling. Ebrimas Job, I met not long ago, and he told me that he was a scientist. He's one of the leading entrepreneurs in Gambia. I didn't know that he was a scientist. He said scientists make good entrepreneurs. What is your take on that? How was that journey? How was that transition?
Thank you, Dr. Jorjoh, for that question. I know if I say absolutely yes, people are going to say I am biased. But what we're going to do, let's just look around, even on the table. I believe everyone here on the table is a scientist, or at least have a scientific background. I know Mr. Ceesay, he was a microbiologist. I read his profile. So is Jainaba. She was, I think, an engineer before becoming a venture capitalist, and so are you. You are also an immunologist. And here is Mr. Kinteh, also an engineer. So I think he is right to say scientists make great entrepreneurs. And even looking not from the table and even from the global perspective, if you look at the question that was asked by the minister when he forgot the tariff thing, what happened? People went on to Google to search for the answer. And Google was actually founded by a scientist, Larry Page. He's a scientist. I'm sure this has also been streamlined on Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg, founder of Facebook, and so many other entrepreneurs, right? So scientists, when they learn a little bit of finance, they become the best entrepreneurs, and they disrupt the ecosystem completely. So I agree.
So you're not being biased. I see Alessana over there. But I think we need to look at what is entrepreneurship and what should scientists do. Scientists solve problems.
Absolutely.
So what is entrepreneurship in your own words?
So for me, to be honest, if you ask me to define for you what an entrepreneur is, theoretically I can't. For me, what is important is there is a problem that needs to be addressed. And as entrepreneurs, right, what you should do is look for solutions for those problems. You can have someone here who read 100 books on entrepreneurship. That would not make them a great entrepreneur. For you to be an entrepreneur, you have to be in the field solving the problems. So it's more of finding solutions for problems that are around. And the moment that you can find that and capitalize on that and make it something that people are willing to pay for, you are an entrepreneur automatically.
And what challenges did you face in your journey? What would you have done differently? Is there any support you could have had to make this journey smoother?
How many will you want me to tell you? As an entrepreneur, in the Gambia, in Africa in general, I think to start with, like every other entrepreneur here, is access to capital. When I had the idea, of establishing AQA while I was at the MRC. So people were coming to the MRC looking for certain tests. They were not available. You were told, go to Dakar. And these are some things that are very basic. We have the expertise within even the MRC campus to address that. So I came up with a budget, right, just to start. And it was almost 5 million. Who in the world is going to give me 5 million? So it was difficult. I actually went to so many agencies because initially I was thinking of more of, let's say, an NGO, a non-profit thing. But accessing that money was a problem. So we had to resort to personal savings and then talking to other colleagues who have similar mindsets. So we brought our savings together, and then with that, we were able to at least convince a supplier to give us an installment plan, and with that, we were able to start. We started not with everything that we wanted to start with, so we had to start smaller than we initially anticipated. But yes, access to capital is a major challenge, I think, for every entrepreneur. And the other thing is access to human capital. When we started our company, we needed people that had technical skills in biomedical sciences. We don't have it. We have a lot of people graduating from the university, but they don't have the technical skills. We have a lot of biology graduates, a lot of chemistry graduates, but they're not trained in the field of biomedical science. So we had to train our own biomedical scientists, lab technicians, which took us, make the journey even longer and harder than necessary.
Do you think the challenges of the creative industry are in the Gambia currently?
I think one of the biggest challenges is that nobody takes it seriously. So you're starting off with a bunch of people who think that it's soft, it's toy, that, I don't know any parent that's telling their kid, forget medicine, go and be an actor. Nobody. Which is really unfortunate, because some of the wealthiest, most powerful, most influential people on the planet are people within the creative industry. So I would say maybe some of our graduates know more about what Beyonce's wearing than they do about the names of some of our ministers here in the Gambia. Nobody takes it seriously, and that's one of the biggest challenges. I will also say I have all the same challenges you have. People with technical abilities and talent is not lacking. I can assure you, I'm amazed at the depth of talent that we have in the Gambia. I just want to highlight one challenge that I'm facing, and it's actually part of the previous conversation. It is a shame to me that we're still having the conversation about things like discipline. I've had the good fortune of traveling. As an actor, I've worked as far as Mexico, as far as Japan. And so and what it is the advantage is I stand in front of an audience. So you can tell how an audience reacts, what the culture of the place is. And I get to spend time there, 6 months here, 4 months there. I get to live and be part of it. And when I've had the opportunity to attend things like this, that's not part of the conversation. We're not having a conversation on timekeeping. It's a foregone conclusion. People will be there on time. But in my work here, I've had to become almost tyrannical about time. I have a policy, you're late, you're gone. And I don't actually like giving second chances. As a result, I have a hard core of extremely dedicated people who I now have to ask them to go home because they're so addicted to work now. I have to say to them, go home. So there are people here that can do it. I think we need to, the biggest challenge I think we have is that psychological jump from tolerating that kind of behavior. I think the moment we lose it, The moment we get rid of that TIA, TIG, this is Gambia, this is Africa mentality, and become productive, become very serious. Someone else mentioned the things you're willing to do when you're on your own. You know, can't do my gis, so you just go ahead and do it. No, I mean, I wake up, I want to be a writer now, I'm writing. So I know I have no time in the day to do it. I'll wake up at 4 a.m. so that I can be at my desk at 4:30 to write a few pages before 6:30, 7:30, and I can then deal with my kids. I know I have to do that. It doesn't matter how big or successful you get. I still have to work hard and be disciplined. You know, discipline, disciple, talibe. So it's spiritual. Being disciplined means you have a goal that you're trying to achieve and you're a disciple to that goal. You keep working day in, day out to get there. Whether you succeed or fail, actually, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of fun in the journey. So yeah, for me, that's one of the biggest shifts I'd like to see in Gambia, is that psychological shift from, I'm scared to say this, I was going to say yala bahna. Why nakowa yala bahna, but yala beisatol. Okay, so you have to also to just go from there and go, okay, no more excuses, no more explanations. We're all going to turn up on time. We're all going to do what we said we were going to do. And if we don't, we're going to hold each other to account. I think once we shift that, I think the sky's the limit of what we can do.
Thank you so much. You could have stayed in the UK and not come back.
Yeah.
What made you come back? Do you also think that the creative industry in Gambia is profitable?
100% I do believe it's profitable. In the UK, they're making sourdough bread all the time, you know. That's what the film industry there describes it as. They're all making the same stuff over and over. It becomes that if, you know, you look for the place that lightning has struck and you want it to strike again. We have so many untold stories that the world hasn't seen with our own unique experience and vision. People, I go for walks every day, and I walked past this man, I won't mention his name or where he worked, but he said to me, "Thank you for your sacrifice." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You've sacrificed the UK to come to the Gambia." I'm like, wow, have you never lived in the UK? You must not have. I don't think you understand. I don't feel like being here is a sacrifice. For me, this is extremely exciting, and the challenge is a welcome one. I think there is a massive amount of potential we have. In some ways, the film industry in Gambia is untouched. So I'm a startup, a pioneer, someone who can find gold here for the first time. The only thing we need to achieve is to get it up to a standard that we can compete with Cape Verde, Senegal. We can compete with England, China. Earlier, when we were told that a third of the global market is now ours. Yes, but you also have to compete with 1.3 billion Chinese people. So if you're going to sell to them, you have to be doing better than their neighbors.
I mean, most of you would know that I have a slogan that says Gambia Fadem Diakuya. And then, you know, people look at me again and say, Uncle Taf, are you showing the Gambia them? You know, but really, these are the occasions that makes me feel that there's hope. When you look around, honestly, there is hope. I mean, look at everybody that is here. I mean, quite young. Look at the age bracket here. And you have been empowered. Some of the classes that you have had, you know, from all these people, all the lecturers who are here, this is Harvard product, man. So grab it. Grab it. I had a grand niece that came on a holiday, and I dragged her into this. She had to snatch the mic and say, do these people really know what they have? To have all these people stay with them for hours, just talking, you know, giving them lectures? I don't know whether it's this cohort or the one before this. Maya came here. All of you do know Maya. First class aeronautics engineer. First class. He wrote his thesis in Chinese. Smart guy. What is he doing now? YouTuber. He's making tons of money. We need to be hungry as young Gambians. That's the reality. You need to be hungry. If you're not hungry, you cannot make it. The minister, I'll quote the minister on that word that he lost about opportunities, really. But guys, we all know that we cannot compete with the Chinese. We can. The Chinese will work 20 hours a day. We want to close at 4 o'clock and will not put the extra energy. ASAFTA, whatever, the long one. Yes, we have an opportunity for 1.4 billion market. But guys, you have to have a skill.
A big thank you to all our business partners, particularly Trust Quality, who printed all our branding today, and these beautiful tags that we have on, and to the management of the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara Conference Center for seeing to all our requests and allowing us to use this beautiful hall with all this technology that we're enjoying today. I must say, our events, they've made our job quite easy. Previous events, we had to hire so many equipment, the mics, the screens, all of these. We will spend days. The talented Chernodako would sleep over when we're doing these events with the Trust Quality team building the stage. May his soul rest in peace. He had contributed a lot to these events, and he will be dearly missed. I would like to acknowledge the exceptional efforts of my incredible team, the young, dynamic, committed, and competent TAF Africa Global staff in the Gambia, in Nigeria, and Sierra Leone now. Their hard work and dedication have been the driving force behind the seamless execution of this conference. Your commitment is truly appreciated, and I am proud to lead such a capable and devoted group. Lastly, I would like to express my gratitude to our able managing director, a great visionary, and personification of our theme today. Your leadership has been instrumental in shaping this event into a success. We are fortunate to have a leader who not only envisions a resilient future, but actively works towards it. Thank you for your guidance and dedication to our shared goals. Here's to rising strong together. Let the discussions and connections forged during these sessions serve as a catalyst for positive change and enduring partnerships. Together, we rise strong to face the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Till the next TAFCON, stay inspired and keep pushing. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a truly remarkable day it has been here at TAFCON 2023. We've journeyed through insightful discussions, heard inspiring stories, and shared moments of reflection and celebration. As we carry the inspiration and insights from today forward, let's continue rising strong and working together to navigate the challenges of our emerging global landscape. I am Andy Kerman from the entire team. We look forward to seeing you all at the next TAFCON. Safe travels and Happy New Year in advance. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching the TAF Hub. Until we come your way on our next episode, subscribe, like, and share.